Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to all our viewers and attendees who joined us today for the webinar. And as the session is going live in our respective FB pages and YouTube, a very warm welcome to all our Facebook audience and YouTube viewers as well. Feels amazingly wonderful to see you all joining us this wonderful Sunday evening. Okay, without any delay, let's get into our session today. The clock is ticking 6:10 to 7, and we are all good to go. Good evening, everyone. This is Swarna, and on behalf of Pick a Book, I am going to moderate this session for our lovely audience here tonight. Great to see so many participants from different parts of the world attending the session today, and a big hi to all of you in the room and outside the room as well. A very warm welcome to all of you for the Flipside webinar series. We are extremely happy and delighted for the kind of love and support we are getting for our Flipside series. And thank you all. It's all because of you. We get inspired to bring in more books and new insights into our discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, please invite your family and friends to our sessions, and we will be very happy if you can extend your support by using the social media handles to host a watch party. Hashtag us using hashtag global movement, I'm a reader. Spread the love for reading, and let's all be proud to say I am a reader and inspire many more. Okay, a quick recap for those of you who are new to Pick a Book. Pick a Book is all about reading and more reading and inculcating the habit of reading, research, and presenting the summary in our regular meeting sessions. Creating a better world by changing the sense of self through the habit of reading is the vision of Pick a Book. If you want to know more on Pick a Book, please find us on www.pickabook.club. We are there on FB, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. Okay, why are we all here today? Just throw some light on why are we here tonight. In our sessions like this, which we call Flipside series, we discuss books under various subject matters with our eminent panelists across the world, which will provide guidance and insights into our lives and wonderful takeaways after this session. Today in our Flipside, we are bringing you the insights from two most exciting and popular books by two great authors, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. Okay, let's now quickly move on to know more about our panelists. With a beautiful poem, I will start this session. This poem inspired, for a beautiful quote from the book, The Alchemist. Do not ask your children to strive for extraordinary lives. Such striving may seem admirable, but it's the way of foolishness. Help them instead find the wonder and the marvel of an ordinary life. Show them the joy of tasting tomatoes, apples, and pears. Show them how to cry when pets and people die. Show them the infinite pleasure in the touch of a hand, and make the ordinary come alive for them. The extraordinary will take care of itself. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them, by Paulo Coelho. With such a beautiful quotation from the book and a great start today, the presenter of this book is, she is a digital marketer by profession, jovial by character, and talkative by choice. She's currently the director digital at InspireX, an ideation and execution agency, working with the clients from startups to corporates and helping them to achieve progressive steps in their marketing and business direction. She loves taking photos and collecting them as memories, dining out, cooking, cuddling doggies, and simplifying things. That's such a colorful life, I must say, Kavi. Pleasure having you with us tonight. And
Hi, Swarna, and hi everyone. Thank you for the introduction. It was a very lovely quote and a poem. I'm really happy to be with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Kavi, can you just give us a brief of why one should read this book?
Actually, I'm reading this book was a coincidence. So what happens is when we used to attend pick a book sessions back in before COVID, so we had this a bookshop also coming and displaying their books. So I was kind of forced to do a presentation, a session there. So then I was looking at all the books. I didn't know about The Alchemist, and then this was the smallest book among the rest. So I thought, okay, if I'm supposed to do a presentation, reading a very small book is easier. That's how I picked this book. But to be honest, like when I started reading, I realized that though the book is very small, it had only 163 pages. The meaning, the depth of the book was really good. So it was a very good coincidence. Even though I chose it for a different reason, I'm very happy that I chose that book. So that's how I read this book.
Thank you for that, Kavi. And yeah, it's one more example to say great things come in small packages.
Yeah,
Whatever
true.
the reason, whatever the reason could be, today we are here with such a wonderful book and such a wonderful presenter.
Yes.
Thank you. And with that beautiful quotation, let's move on to another quotation from the Code of Extraordinary Mind. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of others people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown at your own inner voice. And the most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Such a wonderful quote, I must say. And with this, the lady, the presenter here today with us is she's a marketer and content writer by profession. She's an extrovert, obsessed learner, health conscious, nature addict, herbal and spice lover, adrenaline explorer, business and books, wine and dance. She believes everything happens for a reason and mostly for the best. And everyone who crosses our path has a mission in our lives. And it is our job to find out what and the why. Of course, so I must say, it's a wonderful mix of ingredients, your life. So you have it all.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the session and great to have you here.
Hi, great to have, great to be part of Pick a Book and this great initiative. And I'm so grateful for a wonderful journey with you guys and to inspire and get inspired.
Thank you. We can't wait to listen to you more. And Sochini, can we just have a quick brief of what the book holds for us?
Yes, this book is more of like getting out of your cultural context, like what the limited beliefs that we are brought up with, and what the society teaches us, and how to break out from that frame that we have been used to living and live an extraordinary life. And this book is a research based, also scientifically proven tips are there where we can learn a lot from Vishen, who has done 200 hours of research, who has invested 200 hours of research interviewing mastermind people. Like, for example, he has even spent time with and interviewed and people like Richard Branson, Tony Robinson, and even Elon Musk from Tesla. So this book is a series of how to live an extraordinary life by focusing on 12 areas in life, not and also especially the tips on how to live a balanced life.
Okay, so let's not waste any more time to learn from, some good learnings and takeaways from the books. Okay, so to start with you, Kavi, my first question for you is, what made this book so popular? It is anyway connected to, is it anyway connected to his personal experiences, or it's just an imagination of?
Um, Yeah, so this is a very usual question when it comes to The Alchemist, because you would have seen, like, if you tell the title of this book, half of the people would say, wow, this wonderful book, it's soul touching. There are so many things that people tell about this book. So what makes this book so special is the simplicity. It's a very simple story. If you just read, it's about a shepherd boy who travels from Spain, his homeland, to Egypt. So simple as that, very simple. And the language is very simple. Anyone can understand, and the it's full of life. The book, it has lots of meaning, and very importantly, metaphors. This book is full of metaphors. So it how you take is about, it depends on you. Say, for example, this book has so many hidden meanings. That's how I understood, or that's my perspective about this book. That each and every life stage of this boy, or the journey, for me, I got a different understanding. Like, there is something happening there. It's just maybe one of the material things or whatever, but I understood in a different way. So likewise, each and every person who reads this book will understand the situation in a way that is applied to their lives. So that's the very speciality about this book. And now, normally, when we have books, either we say it's a spiritual book, or a fiction, or a self-help book. Likewise, we can categorize. But this book falls under everything. It has spirituality. It talks about God. Talks about some rituals. It talks about a very fictional character, this boy and his life. Things happening in his life might be really fictional, very imaginative, and also it's a self-help book. So I can further, I mean, in this session, I can further tell why it's a self-help book. So it's a good mix of everything, yet so simple.
Okay. Thank you, Kavi. I think this is a mix of all those things as you said. Okay, let's know more of you later after we ask the question to Soshini. Soshini, what are these 12 areas of life in the book? Which the book recommends to focus in order to have a fulfilling, successful, and well balanced life.
Yeah, these are very amazing 12 areas that we could live a balanced life, which Vishen is suggesting us to with extensive um, book series where we could read and excel in those areas. And I would first introduce the 12 areas that we can focus to improve our lives, to have a well balanced life. And it's sort of a long list though. He is suggesting love, friend, like love means like not only with a relationship, but then love towards our parents and our special one, and even to our kids likewise. And also friends, where we how to make friends and how to influence friends and people who we meet in our day-to-day lives. And the third area is like the adventures that we crave for and we learn from. And he is sort of getting an example of Richard Branson's adventurous life, where how he is living a extraordinary life by and like throughout his whole life is pretty much full of adventures, and he gives like plenty of examples in all of these areas. And the fourth one is the environment, how we can get connected to our roots and the nature. And the fifth area he's suggesting us to focus on our health and fitness, how we focus on how we are carried by a lot of other things in our day-to-day lives, but not really focus on the essential, which is health. And the intellectual life, which makes us extraordinary. And seventh areas goes as skills that we need to invest for our future, for our long-term goals. And the eighth area is spiritual life, career, creative life, family life, community life as well.
Okay.
In brief.
Thank you, Sarshini. That's a whole lot of learning from the book. I must because somehow these two books I feel a connection. From what
Actually, it
you
is much
shared.
connected. I remember there was a quote
Yeah,
from The Alchemist as well,
yeah.
and quoted
It's
in the book. So
surprising.
it's very much connected. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's surprising and interesting as well because one is a totally a fiction book and the other is self-help book. But still, there are a lot of similarities. We can correlate to.
Definitely.
And okay, Kavi, moving on with my next question. Dreams, destiny, life journey, comfort zone, personal legends, and the soul of the world. These are usually some of the phrases that always associate this book. How did the author Paulo Coelho try to explain these life lessons through his characters in the book?
Before answering to that question, I'll just cover the story. I think most of you might have already read this book, but then again, I'll just give a small brief because it makes me happy to, tell this story because it's something very, very nice and magical sometimes. So this young boy, shepherd, he's a shepherd. So he was meant to be a priest because his father was a priest, but he decided that he would like to travel and he chose a career actually to become a shepherd because he thought shepherds travel everywhere and he went and said that to the father and luckily the father accepted it, which is a different scenario. Normally parents don't agree, but according to that story the father agreed and even he gives money to buy sheep. So this boy buys the sheep and then he started traveling. So likewise he goes different places and one fine day from on a particular day onwards he started seeing some dreams. So he couldn't initially see what's the dream is, but little by little he started visualizing it. It's a young boy pointing him to a treasure that is in Egypt. So that's the dream which he got really confused and he wanted the treasure, but he doesn't know where is Egypt or he doesn't know what it is, whether true or not, nothing. So he went where he goes to a gypsy, a woman, and asks, "What is this? Can you interpret the meaning of this dream?" And she also says, "There is a treasure. You can get the treasure, and you have to give me 10% of the treasure that you're going to get." So likewise, his journey starts. So the very interesting thing here is throughout the story, he's meeting different people, and all of them are directing him to reach that treasure. So so that is a story, but it's very metaphorical for me. The metaphor that I understood is this is what happens in our lives as well. Like we try to achieve something, and most of the time, knowingly or unknowingly, someone will travel with us, help us in a way to achieve that. Or like if in case if we are taking a wrong direction, they come and again align us to the right path. So if we sit and think, they are like everyone will have a story like that. So I saw this entire journey like that. So gradually, this boy actually he travels almost 3,523 kilometers. That is from Spain to Egypt. So back then there is no vehicles, no plane, nothing. So he starts his journey without knowing where is Egypt or where what is the journey is how the journey is going to be. Likewise, he's traveling. So he meets an alchemist. So alchemists are people who can even turn metal into gold. That's how they have been like introduced in the book. But on the other hand, it also gets connected with the soul of the world. So according to the book, what is soul of the world is the force or the positive energy that makes sure that all the human beings as well as things in the world are taken care, like they are they can flourish or they can become better. So that is the soul of the world. So the boy gradually, even though he is traveling to find materialistic worldly possessions like gold and treasure, but gradually he finds the treasure within himself. So he travels, he understands the language of the heart. So he understands the he always tries to come out of his comfort zone, but again goes back in that because he was scared, because he was directionless. So it's a very metaphor driven story. Every situation is somewhat related to our lives. So this boy is coming out of his comfort zone initially, then again he had his own doubts, disappointments. He was very skeptical about the people he met on his journey. He was doubting them whether they are right, whatever they are doing is right or wrong. He's making wrong decisions. So likewise, somehow he achieves his dream. So that is his destiny. So that is the overall thing about this. And one main phrase, or the one main important thing is the concept is personal legend. So this personal legend is being introduced by an old man who claims that he is a king of a place called Salem. So what personal legend represents is what the person most desires to accomplish in his life or her life is personal legend. So what he says is everyone knows their personal legend when they are young. But as time passes, a mysterious force makes them feel they will never achieve their personal legend. So even it would have happened to us as well. When we were kids, we were very clear about what we want. When a baby cries, that baby knows that it will get the milk. So likewise, we were very strong and very clear when we were kids. But down the line, when we started becoming adults, when we were growing, little by little, we deviate from what we want in our life. We lose our focus on the goal, what we wanted to become. So this book says you have to come back to that state where you know that your personal legend, what is your personal legend, and do whatever you want to achieve it, and you will achieve. So that's why this entire book is subtitled as the subtitle of the book is a fable about following your own dream. So very simple as that. So this boy, because he wanted to get the treasure, he gets the treasure, and how he gets and what he's learning throughout the journey is it's that entire story.
Okay. Thank you, Kavi. That's so useful for a lot of us, ladies and gentlemen. That is so important to have a dream. Our Abdul Kalam also said, "Dare to dream." Reminding his quote at this point of time. Dare to dream, have big dreams, and strive to achieve them. Everything else will be taken care by the universe. So just go ahead with your dreams. Thank you, Kavi, for that. And just to make it a little lighter, is there any incident in your life where you think you have come out of your comfort zone and you achieved something good? So satisfactory for you.
Yeah, there's a lot. So one thing that I would say is I was an extrovert. I like until when I was 16, I think. Like I don't talk much, and I'm very quiet, which is not now. So I actually still remember when I was 16-year-old, I purposefully, or like I put that effort to become an introvert to an extrovert. I started expressing myself, and because I was the only child, so it was my mother, father, and it was me. So I think maybe because of that, I didn't have anyone to talk or much. Because of that, I was an introvert. So that process I still remember at school also. That like from being an introvert to coming and doing presentations and stuffs in the stage and taking part in the school activities and all was really hard. But I remember putting that effort to come out of that comfort zone, because I knew that if I want to achieve something, I have to change myself. So that is something that I always remember.
So true, so true. Thank you for sharing your experience. I think most of us can relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So Shini, moving on to you. There are now that we came to know 12 important life lessons, what are the 12 books that the author is recommending us to excel in those 12 areas of life?
Yeah, that is another sort of list that I think we can, if worth taking note of, actually, because these are like really bestseller books, and also very famous and research-based books. Most of them are with real life examples. So I shall start with the first most important area of life, love, and the book that he's recommending is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't mentioned the authors. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. And second is from How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Third is Adventures, Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson. And fourth is The Environment, Magic of Thinking Big by Joey Short, PhD. Fifth area is Health and Fitness. There are two books that he's recommending for men: Bulletproof Diet by Dave Espring, and for women, Virgin Diet by JJ. And the sixth area he is focusing on Intellectual Life, which is master courses that he's recommending to take on improving our personal life, personal development, improving our personal development. Master courses by Jim Quick, JIMKWIK. Skills 4 Hours Work Week by Timothy Fence. Spiritual Life, 2 books he's again recommending: Autobiography of Yogi by Pramahansa and Conversation with God by Neil Donald. Career, he is recommending Originals by Adam Grant. Creative Life, The War of Art by Stephen. Family Life, Master of Love by Dawn Michael. 12th area, Community Life, Delivering Happiness by Tony Zay. So these areas where he is where he's like giving tips on how to master, excel in those areas to have a well, successful, and balanced life.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that, Sarshini. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have taken a note of all these, the names of these wonderful. It's very, very, very useful to go through. You'll get an idea of, what all it takes to have a peaceful life. Goes well with all these books. So all plattered in a single place. So we will be putting up the names of these books soon in the chat, so that you can have the idea of the names of all these things. And moving on to you, Kavi, the most talked about philosophy these days is law of attraction. That has quite become a fancy word nowadays. Is there any connection between the alchemist and the law of attraction?
Yes, definitely. So if you see what is law of attraction is positive thoughts attract positive experiences, and negative thoughts attract negative experiences, to put it in a very simple way. So there is a very important, or like one of the best quotes in the Alchemist book is, it says, when you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you. A very simple as that. So I see a very good connectivity, and a very good example that I would quote is, like all the famous authors, this author also went through a very rough start, in the sense, initially when this book was published in 1988, initially it was published in Portuguese language, because he's a Brazilian author. The book didn't sell, and the very first publisher who agreed to sell the book returned the books, and he said, this book won't, people won't buy this book, and he simply walked away. So the author was very desperate. He was like very heartbroken, and more than that, he was very he was sad, because this book is all about achieving your dream, and he's unable to sell the book. So he was very heartbroken at that time. But then again, he decided, my book itself gives a quote saying, when you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you. That is one of his quotes. So he decided, let me do that. Let me show that, because now that I have written that in the book, I don't have any other option. I have to show that to the world that it will happen. So he started knocking doors of the publishers. So he was talking to lots of people, and finally he ended up in a publisher. He just went and told this publisher this book wasn't selling. This was returned to me, but I know this book will be a hit. Can you please publish this? And that author, without saying anything, he simply accepted. He said, "Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll publish." So, and then the book was published, and after like so many millions of copies sold, I think after 3 years, after the publishing, uh, the author asked from the publisher, what made you to say okay to me, because this book was rejected. So he said, I don't know, you understand, that was the phrase that he told. He also doesn't know. So this is a very good example of law of attraction. If you want something and if you are really determined to get that, somehow the universe will do the rest for you to achieve that. So that is a very interesting story, which this was shared by the author at a show with opera in the TV. I think it happened in 2014, I guess. So this is how he explains that the principle of law of attraction.
True, Kavi, very well said, actually. In fact, all of us can relate to that. At some point of our lives, we come across a situation where we struggle to find a way out, and somehow through somebody or through some
Yes,
means, we just get out of it. That is,
exactly.
we just have to give it a thought.
Yes,
Most of the times we don't just pass by, that happened. So we don't even take a minute to think how it happened. Probably when you after this session, if people go through and they think how it happened, then probably they'll know that somebody's
exactly.
planning to make
Actually,
it happen.
we call it a miracle, but it's more
Yeah.
than a miracle or a faith. It's that thought, because
Yes.
we wanted it.
True.
Simple as that. So universe will do the rest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we have to, ladies and gentlemen, we have to be grateful of whatever we get, however the things are going. So they will go at one point of time. Everything teaches us something good in life. So trust me and believe it, and please go with your intuition or behind your
Exactly.
dream. Okay, with that beautiful explanation from Kavi, let's now move on to Soshini. Soshini, there are, some beautiful lessons the author is talking about in this book. I came across an interesting new word called rules. I don't know what it is, but that was interesting to know what it is. Can you explain a bit on what is that and what are the 10 rules that the book recommends to follow?
Yes. So it's again an extensive list with 10 rules, or rather recommendations that Vishen is sort of suggesting us to focus. And I would explain not all of it, but then I'll explain the highlights of the 10 rules. And it's beautiful of this book is that he comes with his own terms. He has invented literally words in throughout these books, like for example, rules, and then culture escape, and likewise a lot of frames that really interesting and fascinating phrases. So I'll start with the first one, transcend the culture scape. So it's more of like getting out of the cultural context, and how we are sort of average minded. We tend to think mostly in average minded, but if we have a practice of thinking extraordinarily, then we will adapt to that habit of extraordinarily minded. And second one is the rules, which is coming out of bullshit rules that the society has inculcated in our in our to for
Correct.
various reasons, for social reasons, for political reasons, likewise. But how to have your own set of beliefs, how you can be spiritual but not really religious, like where you will be like restricted for one set of rules, but you could rather have your own set of beliefs, pick and choose what, like, how you can live your extraordinary divine life by without being restricted to one frame, sort of. So and he's giving actually a nice example where this book is locked with a lot of his personal experiences and a lot of other examples, like from Richard to a lot of other experts in all of those areas. And which is really beautiful about this book is that all these areas are coming from like the top experts in the world. So that is why probably this book is about 200 hours of research and interviewing these experts. And third rule is going as conscious engineering, which is another this word is pretty much common in all of the chapters, where how you train your brain to reverse your thinking patterns. Like, it's really beautiful. This is actually a must read for anybody to reset your beliefs, reset your systems, reset your actions, and live an extraordinary life. And um, like it sort of explains how to accelerate growth, how to think like a hacker and hack your brain. And there are a few other concepts, where biological concepts, that he's coming up with how to hack your biology, how we are trained to think that our DNA, my mother has this, my father has this. Then I will also, just like Kavi said, if you believe that good thing will happen, good thing will happen. If you believe that wrong thing will happen, wrong thing will happen. So like, it actually goes with a law of attraction, where this concept is coming, where if you can hack your biology. You don't have to believe that your DNA has this. Like, for example, my father died in 51 years. I wouldn't die in 51. So likewise, for example, you don't have to believe in such a way where society or the whoever taught you, but then if you believe that you can go beyond, you will go beyond. And the fourth area he's focusing on rewriting your models of reality. Focus on choices that will help them upgrade their beliefs. Like I said, upgrade your beliefs. Don't restrict your thing into any other one set of beliefs that restrict your lifestyle. And fifth one is upgrade your system of living, which is pretty much the same with a lot of examples in the book. And bend reality. He is actually bend reality. By what he means is, like, if you have a vision and but it's actually a common trait that a lot of us have, where we tend to tie our happiness towards our end goal or towards our achievement, towards the future, which cause a lot of anxiety and anxious, like, a lot of worries, that we are worried about the future or the past, but we don't really live in the moment. This book, the last few chapters, actually focuses on like how to live in the moment, how to create happiness and not tie that into the future, but rather like how this is actually beautiful. How the book explains, I'm like, so excited, like even like recalling the theories, the models, because it shows us with few examples, again with a lot of other books as well, where how we are caught up in thinking about the future, but how actually we can create our happiness in the moment. For example, if like Vishen Lakhani is a CEO of a 200 people employed company, but where he was actually there was a time that he has to run his family and the company, and focus on other areas of his life, like the adventure, the learning, his own development. Likewise, where he did not focus on the ultimate future. He did not see that, oh, this company is going to be like this, then only I will be happy. We tend to think like that, right? Oh, after I get married, I'll be happy. After I get kids, I'll be happy. After I get this degree, I'll be happy. After I get this job, if I move that city, I'll be happy. We always tend to like set a goal, and then once we achieve that goal, we'll be happy. But he's like beautifully explaining how to be like, how to be how to live an extraordinary life by living in the present, at the same time achieving our goals. So it's a beautiful way of explaining that area in this book towards the end of the chapters. And where did I stop? Bend, upgrade your system of living, bend reality, and yeah, bend and okay. Seventh one is live in discipline. Discipline is another beautiful frame that he's coming up with. Discipline, living, um, yeah, be grateful and blissful. Discipline is where you are blissful but disciplined.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of being disciplined and grateful for what you have and what you will be. And create a vision for your future. Be unfuckwithable, I'm sorry about the word, but this is another frame that he's coming up with. Set your goals and be responsible for your own version, for what you create. You can create your own reality, sort of. So be unfuckable chapter is about how to train your mind not to control what you can't control. For example, you can't control of what other people think or what other people do to you, right? But you can always control how you would react to it, how you would act to it. So it's all about like taking control of your own actions and how you can have live in peace with that state of mind without trying to please anybody or like living that state of mind. And the last rule is embrace your quest. That is like you a combination of all the things that you can gather and living a blissful and a meaningful how you live a balanced, happy, and a meaningful life. So it's like a combination of three segments. And this is actually I would really recommend to have a balanced life where he is coming up with extreme examples where he had gone and visited the Amazon, the what do you call them? Like Aborigines, like they have a set of community. I forgot the
Tribes.
community. Yeah, tribes. Yeah, exactly. So the Amazon tribe, he had gone to that extreme and visited their behavior, like visited and them and sort of done a research how their behaviors is different to ours, how we had evolved throughout the years, and it's beautiful.
Thank you, Sarshini. Actually, it's like, we don't want to interrupt you. We don't want to stop you. Let's continue. That is such a wonderful book. I am sure a lot of the audience will pick this book right away. I'm seeing some positive comments already in the chat box, where they got inspired to, get this book. Even I myself got so inspired, listening to what all the things the book has in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, just train your brain, however you want to lead your life. It's all about training your brain. That's no wonder Mind Valley is such a big hit. He has got such a beautiful, analogies to his, whatever he wants to say. Well, I totally love that. Love that. So with that beautiful learnings, I would say, and I mean, just I want to ask you also, some funny question. Is there any rule which you had gone through, like the other bullshit rule that you broke for your good?
Rules. I can't think of anything tip of the mind, but I'm sure I am much of a rule breaker, so I'm sure I have plenty.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's high time you break your rules, all the bullshit rules. The people around you have been, posing to you. So just come out of them and make your own rules, customize your own rules, and just follow your heart. And okay, we'll just move on to Kavi now. Kavi, we know that
Yes.
book Alchemist is full of lovely quotes. This is wonderful. Mostly, actually, the book is so famous for quotations. Wherever the session happens, definitely a quote from this book goes in every training session. So, they actually uplift the spirit and the mood instantly. So, what are your favorites?
So definitely, as you said, this book, like being one of the one of the book that got translated in over 80 language, and that holds the Guinness record for that. And also, so far, I think it has like over 65 million books were sold, and this book was written by the author within 2 weeks of his time. He just took 2 weeks, but it has so many like really great quotes, and I have chosen a couple of ones, very simple ones, which we already know. But when you see these or when you read these on a this thing where you go through some really bad thing, these quotes will definitely help you to, you know, it will help you not to quit, or it will let you continue. So one example is, people are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. So this is a very simple one, but sometimes when we are trying to give up something, when we see this quote, definitely it will lift you up. And there's another one: there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, the fear of failure, which is very true. Like, we are the only barrier we have in achieving our dreams. And finally, the last one, which I really like, and this is the essence of the book. If someone who haven't read this book, if you see this quote, definitely it will make you to read this book. So the quote goes like this: tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams. Because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and with eternity. So if you are suffering, and if you are suffering because if you want to achieve your dream, you will not feel it as a suffering, you will enjoy it. So simple as that. So this boy also suffers a lot. He's like, at so many points he's trying to quit, but he didn't, and he is continuing because he was listening to his heart, and he achieves what he wanted. So that is one a very nice quote that I really like from the book.
Thank you, Kavi. That was so wonderful, so wonderful, so true, true. Actually, big sense, in a true sense. Just fear is what holds us back to do a lot of things in life. So just
Yes,
just one step. To be very realistic, even all of us, our first step, talking like this in front of the audience, the first step we must have, taken aback. That fear of few seconds, somebody must have pushed us for sure. But then
definitely.
now, yeah, now we are here. So this is a one live example for a lot of people out there. So just break your fears and bring out that first step in you. So everything else will follow, and definitely follow your heart, follow your dreams. That takes you where you want to go in life. And so, Shini, last question to you. And what are the few highlighted models we should take from the book, The Code of Extraordinary Minds, focus in our daily life?
Yes, actually, Swarna, there's a lot of models the book teaches. So out of that, I had picked only two models, which is gratitude model, where the book is actually sort of like pushing us to this practice where if we are to be grateful, we will always be positive minded. If we are to be like, for example, like a lot of experts have proven that when you focus on one simple good thing had happened, what has happened to you in the past, even the MRA scans has proven that you're in that alpha state where you will be positive for the next few minutes or few hours, where you will be full of energy, full of positive minded, where your productivity goes up, and mind valley is full of energizing you, how and like tips and tips and whatnot to like boost your energy, to boost your productivity. And Mind Valley is a full of a company who has helped 1,000 companies to increase their productivity, and their main secret is by focusing on gratitude model. So be grateful, be positive, and productivity eventually will catch up. So that is the main model I would like to present, but there are a lot of beautiful other models where you have to explore by yourselves.
Sure, definitely. Thank you, Sarshini. And we're all ready now to explore. Interesting, definitely an interesting book to go through. And, you know, yeah, yeah, I was totally taken aback with, I didn't expect that, this book has a lot of things in it to actually motivate us to immediately pick the book out. So,
Yes, it's really worth it.
yeah, it is
And
truly, truly.
and if you could, I actually had read the not. I didn't read the book. I had the audio book of the book, and it's even they have even the helpful materials which you can find on Mind Valley
Uh,
site, extraordinary site, where you can download and do your practices and workbooks and likewise. But if you think that the book will take you longer, actually the audio book is only 8 hours, so you can freely finish it within 1 week.
okay, okay. That's good
That's a good
information.
news.
Yeah. So we have many options to learn from the book. Definitely one who likes to read the book and source it from Amazon, and one who wants to listen to it or study online. We have Kindle and the audio versions of it, ladies and gentlemen. So please go through these wonderful books and to see some life transforming decisions you want to make in your life. So thank you so much, both of you, for your valuable input from two different books, and more interestingly, from two different genres. Actually, one is fiction totally, and one is non-fiction. It is surprisingly, very, very, very wonderful because. One just I just can't imagine how fiction and self-help book can go together, but
I
truly
know,
this is
yeah.
not at all sounding like there are two different genres. Both are speaking pretty much the same, on the same lines and the same grounds. Thank you so much for that lovely insights, amazingly delivered by both of you. We're grateful to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swarna. Thank you so much for
Thank you
making
so
this
much.
session so interesting.
Thank you, thank
Actually, thank you so much for having us.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's no wonder the books are so popular. A lot of takeaways from today's session. Absolutely fantastic. And with this, we have come to the end of session Q&A, especially from the panelists. And any questions from the audience? Let's have a look. Yep. Thank you, Soshni, for selecting this great book with guidance for extraordinary divine life. So, and Soshini, very energetic, and yep, all the positive messages pouring in. A very interesting story about Paulo Coelho. Thank you, Kavi, for sharing. Yeah, exactly. It's maybe his story, actually his life story could have been an inspiration to bring out this book. And now it's
Yes.
inspiring a lot of us, a lot of us. So no wonder. I think pick a book is as a great deal of help, can help, a lot of people in this way, because if it's not the case of these presentations like this, a lot of people might not have heard some of these books because Paulo Coelho, though it's like, The Alchemist is very popular and a lot of people must have known this, but coming to the other book, The Extraordinary, Mind, whatever. I just forgot the title. That's very confusing.
Extraordinary mind by.
Extraordinary mind. It blew the mind away now. So, so this book is definitely a plus because a lot of people, I myself heard it for the first time. So I know a lot of people must have taken this book granted for now. So that's what Pick a Book exactly does to a lot of us. So yes, Kavi, well said. Interesting, inspirational. So all good as of now. So ladies and gentlemen, please go and grab the book soon and start reading and share with your loved ones, share with your friends about the learnings, and you can happily join the clubs, whichever is closer by you, and you can share your learnings to them too and spread the love for reading. That actually works wonders. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today.
Thank
And
you.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you all took time from your busy schedules to be with us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the session as much as we loved doing it. Pick a Book is all about reading, read more books, gain more wisdom, share more values, and encourage all your family and friends to read as well. Anyone who is willing to join Pick a Book or bring Pick a Book to your city, please send us an email to admin@pickabook.club. Uh, Yes, the information will be rolled out in the chat boxes on the screens right now. The information is being shared. Please take a note of it, and the website details and email IDs all will be shared soon. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you all had a wonderful time. We hope to see you again next week with different set of books and more learnings. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. See you.
Thank
Thank
you. See
you.
you. Bye.